Hello and welcome back to Dragon Quest Wall Tutorials. I'm Cheesy, and in this video we're going to do a weapon breakdown of the new weapon that is going to be the Hoipoi Capsule. So that is going to be right over here on my Guardian. So pretty much with this weapon, I got it pretty much from farming mileage points. With that, I was actually able to get the weapon. But in all honesty, and also from things that I've seen online, not so many people were keen into getting this weapon. Didn't see much of a purpose, especially if you're going to compare it to the power pole for Kamehameha, but this actually does have its uses, so I actually do want to go over this weapon. So pretty much over here we're going to have the basic stats for it. So the Hoipoi Capsule is going to have plus 22 for healing power and plus 128 for attack power. So this is going to be a support type weapon. Then in terms of its stats as you level up, at level 1 you're going to get plus 20 to your attack power, at level 2 plus 10% to weapon and physical technique skill damage, at level 35 we're going to have plus 5% damage to beasts, and at level 40 going to have plus 5% damage to machines. So that's going to be that particular weapon, or the basic stats for this weapon here. So now what I want to do is go ahead into the abilities of this weapon and go ahead and break them down. So pretty much just going to go ahead into a battle like right over here. Okay, so here we're going to have two sudden activation abilities for this particular weapon. So the first one that you're going to actually notice is going to be pretty much on the wielder, so my Guardian on the main left, and to the right of the wielder we're going to have also that same particular buff that's going to be on the druid. So in this case, this is going to be called思いっきりいくわよ. I'm going to go all out. So with this is going to cost 3% of your max MP, and what it does, it gives a cheer buff to the wielder and to the character to the right of the wielder according to their status. So in the case of what I mean by status, pretty much the type of weapon that they're using. So since the character that I have, my druid is going to be using the power pole, going to be increasing attack power. So when one of the characters with a cheer buff on uses a recovery or attack skill, an ally will receive a strengthening buff. So that's going to be that there. So for example, actually what I want to do first, I want to go over the next sudden activation ability, which you're going to see with the little wing next to the cheer buff. So that is actually going to be increasing agility. So here, this is going to be for Tanoshi Tabi ni Let's Go. So let's go on a fun journey. This is going to cost 8 MP, and it greatly increases the agility of the wielder and the character to the right of the wielder, and it's going to last 2 turns. So pretty much going back to, I'm going to go all out. Here I'm actually going to go ahead and use a skill just to show you what this will do. So in this case, the character, after using that attack, the character or my Guardian actually got a buff on them as well. So now what I want to do is actually go over the abilities of this particular weapon. So the first one is going to be right over, right over here. So this is going to be Bulma support. So with Bulma support, this is going to cost 3% of your max MP. So in this case, this gives a cheer buff to the wielder and the character to the right of the wielder according or in the reflecting the type of weapon that they're using. So then this performs an action according to that strategy that they have. This can only be used once during battle. So here I'm going to go ahead and use it on my druid. So here we both get a cheer buff. So this is probably going to be, in this case, toolbox. And then in that case, you actually did see my druid actually also get an increase to the activation rate of their class skills as well. Okay, so back with my guardian here. Next, I want to go over the ability that we actually did just see. So that is going to be toolbox. So with toolbox, this is going to cost 40 MP. This does around 400 this does 400% Jabari physical damage to all enemies with a rare chance to get a direct hit. So going to be like this. Okay, so now back with my guardian again. Here I want to go over the final ability of this weapon. So again, not that many abilities. So here this is going to be Hoipoi Capsule number 9. So with this one, this is going to cost 50 MP. This does 900% physical technique damage to one enemy with slightly increasing recovering the HP of one ally. So depending on the type of cheer buff the wielder has, it will either make their critical hits into super critical hits or slightly recover the HP of all characters. So here going to go ahead and attack this shield brat. So in this case, I actually slightly recovered the HP of pretty much just myself. But pretty much that was all of the abilities that we have there. Okay, so that was the Hoipoi Capsule weapon. So that is something I forgot to mention. This is an EX type weapon, so it doesn't actually have a specific category, just pretty much a special weapon. But pretty much now want to go over and break this down in terms of going over certain criteria that I did for the power pole in the last video. So in terms of sudden activation abilities, I'm going to give this a 4. So the sudden activation abilities are useful as it does provide the wielder and the character to the right of the wielder with either an attack buff or support at the beginning of the battle. And the second sudden activation ability increases agility, giving the characters a greater chance to take their action before the enemy. So that's actually going to be very beneficial in certain battles, especially if you have enemies that have very high agility. In terms of field battles, I'm going to give this a 3. So the Hoipoi Capsule is mainly a support weapon, so it is lacking in terms of a variety of skills to attack enemies. So in the case of this weapon, it only has Toolbox, which does Jabari damage to all enemies, but there are weapons that are better suited for field battles. So the damage that you saw wasn't that bad with Toolbox, but like I said, there are actually other weapons that I actually do use that actually do a lot better, so I probably would go with that in a field battle. So next category is metal enemies. So this weapon does not have any abilities that allows it to deal damage to metal type enemies, but that comes with the territory since this weapon's main purpose is to support the party. So that's going to be at there, so that's going to get a 1 in that particular category. Boss battles, I'm going to give it a 4 here. So this is going to be best for not only support during a boss battle, but also doing some decent damage with Hoipoi Capsule number 9. Of course, that's going to depend on the types of souls that you actually have and also your equipment loadout. But with the bonus support ability, you're able to get a super critical hit with the main attack ability, which can prove to be very useful, and you also have a chance to slightly heal allies as well. So in terms of future use, I'm going to give this a 3. So I've tried this weapon off video, and the support abilities in a boss battle can provide some extra damage, especially with Kamehameha. But this weapon shouldn't be the only weapon to buff the character with the power pole, and should work along with other buffing weapons. So let's see, I would say in my off video battle, again, I had the Lamia's whip, and I also had the mysterious crystal. So those actually do help out, and probably, I would say, a lot of ways complement this particular weapon in terms of providing more damage to the main attacker. So the total score that I have for this particular weapon is going to be a 15. So while this does provide unique buffs to your characters, if you are looking to buff up a character's attack power, there are better weapons out there that can do it. But being able to buff a healer to slightly increase their healing can give it an edge in some major boss battles. So that's pretty much going to be my breakdown of the Hoipoi Capsule. So now next, what I want to do is actually go and break down a soul that I got in terms of getting it through the actual wish. So that's going to be found, let's see, right over here. So this is going to be the Hacchan soul that you get from the wish with the Dragon Balls. So with Hacchan is going to be a yellow soul. Yellow souls are going to have very high HP, very high durability, which you can actually see here. So pretty much those are going to be the only stats that are going to be of note for this particular soul. So all the other stats are not that great, but 210 for your max HP and 117 for your durability, those are actually very high. Then in terms of your abilities for this soul, you're going to have plus 7% to weapon and physical skill damage, plus 10% resistance to freeze. So again, with freeze, that's actually going to lower your initiative in battle, and also do hero damage to you as well when your turn comes. Then besides that, you're going to get plus 15% God Rage damage if this is going to be equipped on a God Hand, and then plus 3% Great Wall activation rate if this is equipped on a Guardian. So that's going to be this particular soul here. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. So definitely you're going to have more videos coming up. So definitely on April 3rd, we're going to have a couple of new things happening. So we're going to have a new Hokora ruler, which I will go over, and we're also going to have added content for the Red Ribbon Army as well. So please stay tuned. With that said, going to go ahead and end this video here. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you would like to see more, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.